Hey, it's Mike Duffy here from DontGetHacked.ca, global cybersecurity services, and podcast producer for global podcast streaming brand, MupoEntertainment.com. Trying different lighting setup right now. And we're just going to get this streaming on Instagram. So let's click go live over there and make sure that volume's muted. Okay, I think we're good. So today's Saturday, January 27th, 2024. However, since I'm a day behind on recording these now, we're going to do a rundown of what I did on a Friday. Friday, January 26th was busy because it's Friday and there was multiple events to attend. So I believe I started out the day with the South African Business Council. It was an invite I received from a couple of people I've been networking with who are part of other networking groups. So South African, but I've learned in Dubai, nothing starts on time. Perfect. I'm usually late, but since I don't have to drive myself and I just take Uber everywhere, I can be on time. So 8 a.m., first person there. It went till 12 noon. There's a ton of people in that networking event, so that was great. Lots of coffee, not so much food. So, you eat what you eat when you go to a networking event. Others have been, lots of food. This one, not so much, but still a good time. Lots of coffee. Every place you go here, there's an automatic coffee machine. You don't have to wait for a barista. You don't have to go up to the machine, put your coffee cup down, hit the buttons. Perfect coffee every single time. Some people complain about it because they expect better quality coffee, whatever. I can get an espresso, I can get a latte, I can get a cappuccino, I can get a macchiato, whatever you want. You can have multiples. Anyway, that South African Business Council was huge. I was not the only Canadian. I think there was three of them, or three of us, one long-term one who's part of that group, and then myself from Calgary, and then there was a guy from Montreal. Both Canadians, Montreal and Calgary, brand new to that group, so that was interesting. Everybody kind of, what was I going to say? There seems to be a lot of cybersecurity people, a lot of digital marketers, but because cybersecurity is kind of a blanket term, most people, when they say they're into cybersecurity, they're selling hardware or specific software solutions to customers. I'm product agnostic. I don't care what you use because at the end of the day, I know products, hardware change, and maybe in a year or two, you're not going to be using the same thing you've already bought. So at the end of the day, what's important to me is all your data is documented, all your business processes are documented, and you got a robust data recovery plans in case of emergency. You hear me talk about this all the time. Flood, fire, theft, user error, hackers, whatever emergency goes on, it's going to cause you a lot of stress. It's going to cause your employees a lot of stress if there is no well thought out, well documented business recovery plan to put your business back together after an emergency happens. So I don't hear anybody else talking about it. Maybe y'all think I'm crazy, but at the end of the day, I don't care if you use PCs, Mac devices, Linux, mobile devices. If you don't know how to put your business back together after an emergency happens, it doesn't matter what type of firewall or antivirus. It doesn't matter what software hardware you're using. Anyway, there's a lot of cybersecurity guys out there, but at the end of the day, they're just selling one piece of software or training on some software or whatever. So we're not even in the same category, but we seem to get lumped into the same category when we go to networking events. So the great thing is I can always also pitch the podcast production services with MupoEntertainment.com. So I get a lot more interesting feedback on the podcast business while I'm here rather than the cybersecurity business. But at the end of the day, I provide solutions and consulting to business owners. Haven't got any jobs yet, But since I'm going to a lot of events, I'm running into the same people. So I realize I'm just going to have to join their organizations and work those angles if I want to get traction and interest, right? So anyway, breakfast meeting was 4 hours. So it's hilarious because all the breakfast events you kind of go to in Calgary, usually 2 hours. All of these ones in Dubai have been 4 hours. They don't start on time. There's tons of people. There's tons of networking going on. So whatever, I'm here for the ride. So um, was getting hugs by the end of the meeting. So of course I've been running into some of the same people at some of the same events. So they're getting to know me, which is great. Let's see if we can convert that into business. Anyway, came back to the hotel uh, yesterday, Friday, around probably would have got back around 12:31, and I had to work on getting the digital bank account set up and integrated with a merchant service account. If you don't know what a merchant service account is, it's the way you can accept credit cards. So old fashioned way of accepting credit card or debit cards with a machine. I've got a machine in Canada. However, websites now and online businesses usually use virtual credit card processing where you just have links embedded in your website or you send somebody an email with a Stripe link. I was getting my Stripe account set up. So the afternoon seemed to go by really fast yesterday. And then I had also signed myself up for a meetup.com meeting for technology founders, which didn't seem that far away, being only 23 kilometers. But at 6:30 p.m., that takes you an hour in an Uber in a taxi to go 23 kilometers. Back home, 23 kilometers is like what, 25 minutes, 30 minutes at most. So that was quite and it wasn't even really bumper to bumper. The main highway in Dubai, I know it's super long. It's like 6 lanes each way. Of course, 1 or 2 lanes are for on ramps and off ramps, but it's 6 lanes each way. So, and we kind of constantly moved, but 23 kilometers took an hour. So I was on my phone doing emails and stuff like that. So it's nice. I always said I wanted a driver. Well, I have to move myself to a different city, hire a taxi, and have the taxi. That's how you get a driver. Just stop driving yourself. Move to a different city and stop driving yourself around. And so that meeting, we got kicked out of there at 9:30 last night. So I would have showed up about 7:30, went to the bar, got a beer. I think there's like I don't even know. There's a lot of people. So there's 250 brand new people. They said there was 1,000 people. I don't know if there was really 1,000 people there, but it was packed. And it was in a hotel. It was packed. So I just went and found myself a spot to sit in, and people came up and introduced themselves to me and switched numbers on. There's an app called WhatsApp. Funny thing in Canada is everybody's still kind of using paper business cards. I brought paper business cards. I have digital business cards. I've got a QR code printed on my paper business cards. So um, I'm pretty flexible. I'll just take your number and then I'm going to spam you with coffee meeting requests, or if you give me your email, so connect on LinkedIn, whatever. Everybody's got kind of a different way they want to be connected with them. I'm on all the platforms. So I tell them LinkedIn's fine, WhatsApp's fine. If you want to text me, you want to email me, I'm good with whatever communication method you work with. I'm pretty flexible. So yeah, that would have been, I was there for 2 hours and I was, talking to people the whole time. And I don't know if I took my picture of my notes properly. Anyway, so I would have been, they did some group photos at the end. They asked me to sit in the front row. I was wearing my 10X hat, which is somewhere else. I don't have it in front of me right now. So yeah, I left and it was only half an hour to come back. I took photos. I posted those on Facebook last night. So on the way there, I got a photo of the Museum of the Future. It's kind of that, there is this name for the shape it is, but it's kind of like that circle that has all the Arabic writing on it. It was lit. I haven't seen it before in person. It was, of course, we're driving past it, so I took the best photos possible. I posted a picture of that. On the way back, we drove by the Dubai frame. It was all lit up. I took a photo of that, posted that on Facebook. So I'm just kind of, taking photos of everything and documenting our path of discovery here through Dubai while we're here for the residency. We have a residency, so realistically, if we leave, we have to be back here within 6 months, or we have to reapply all over again. So we still got to figure out how long we're going to be here for and take it one day at a time. Anyway, that's my Friday rundown of Diary of a Hacker for January 26, 2024. It's 11:58 p.m. here on a Saturday, so I'm going to sign off. Peace, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I have to turn this off now. Okay. Have a good night.